Hello, my name is Jackson Davis, and this is a profile on Sherry Munsell. According to Katie McKellar of Deseret News, Sherry Munsell is a 49-year-old Clinton, Utah resident who works as a truck driver making $17 an hour. Sherry deals with the pain that many other Utahns are facing. She has had a really hard time keeping up with the rising cost of rent in our state. According to Kyle Dunphy of Deseret News, rent prices in Utah have continued to rise at an above-average rate from 2020 to 2022, and Salt Lake City has seen a shocking 17.7% year-over-year increase in rent costs in 2021. When compared with the fact from the Salt Lake Chamber that the average Utah citizen's salary only raised about 2.3%, one can easily see how it might be hard for many Utah citizens to afford rent. Assuming that Sherry is working full-time, she would be making about $2,700 a month. According to rentdata.org, the average cost of a 3-bedroom apartment in Davis County where she lives is $1,432. Assuming that Sherry is spending the average amount of rent for her county, this would leave her at about $1,288 a month that she is not spending on housing. That means that Sherry would only have about $1,288 to pay renter's insurance, car payment, student loan payments, and other necessary expenses. With Sherry spending just under half of her wages on housing, it becomes hard to save any money towards purchasing a house that she can actually own herself and spend less money on. It seems that the cost of rent is making it impossible for renters to ever save enough money to get into a better situation. In the past, renting was typically used as a stepping stone toward owning a home, but it seems that landlords are taking advantage of the high demand and need for housing. Sherry expressed that she is saddened that she couldn't have put more money into a home that could have been an investment rather than just throwing all of her money towards rent that will never repay her. When money is tight, a minor emergency can become life-changing. Sherry expressed the struggle that her family faced when her wife was out of work for an injury. This injury caused them to be extremely tight on money because her wife was not able to work and they did not have a lot of money saved because of their high rent price. Luckily for Sherry, they were still able to afford their rent payment, but not everyone might be that lucky. Utahns that are tight on money due to high rent prices cannot afford to get injured or sick. When living paycheck to paycheck, it is possible that your rent will be missed after any amount of time that you have to spend out of work. You can imagine how something small could spin into a complete disaster. If someone cannot pay their rent, they are evicted, and many are left homeless. When someone no longer has a home, it becomes much harder to get back on your feet in a position where one can succeed. We should do everything possible so that our friends and neighbors in the state of Utah can afford somewhere comfortable to live. The fast-rising cost of rent in Utah is influenced mostly by the hot real estate market that the state is in due to many out-of-state buyers and a shortage of lumber to build new homes in our state, which causes home prices to increase due to supply and demand. An increase in the price of purchasing homes prices a lot of financially stable Utahns out of purchasing homes. With a large amount of our population staying in their rentals, there is a much lower vacancy rate than before. Vacancy rates are determined by how many vacant apartments an entity might be in charge of. With low vacancies, landlords do not need to lower their rent prices as an incentive to fill units. They simply keep on raising the rent cost simply because they can. We as a state need to work harder to ensure that rental prices do not get out of hand. Unfortunately, there are so many people in the same situation as Sherry who cannot afford to comfortably live their lives. It is sickening to think that so many people are living in a life where they are forced to worry so much about money and not enough about enjoying life. So many people are forced to work so hard that they never get to enjoy life because they are forced to work just enough to afford somewhere to live. Sherry lives within her means and tries to make financially smart decisions, but unfortunately the state of Utah has failed her and she is extremely burdened by her rent. I hope that sometime in the future, anyone who is working full-time will be able to live comfortably in our state so that all of our citizens can be truly happy and we can live in harmony.